Switch there. Okay, that's fine. Alright. Welcome to Tragikast, the Tragikast weekly podcast where we talk about mostly nerdy things and video games. This is your host, Arif, and I am co-hosted by Kevin. If you see our clan tag in your game, don't back out. You'll probably win. Oh, we are also joined by the co-ho again, Sam.
Hey.
Hey, what up? Alright. So before we go into new releases, what did we do this week?
We did a lot of Storybook Brawl this week.
Yeah, it was fun.
They finally got me. They finally fully roped me in.
We got it,
I don't know how much we can talk about it since it was the experimental patch.
Yeah, we can't show the UI, but we are allowed to talk about it, luckily. So.
Alright, yeah. So, yeah. Finally got some group play stuff going in, which was a lot of fun.
Yep. Yeah, hopefully do more of that.
Yep. Yeah, I think it definitely gives a good step away from the competitive side of the game, where you can just play and have fun again.
Yes.
Which, when you climb the ladder as high as we have, sometimes playing is not fun anymore. You lose the fun in it.
Yeah, either that or it's just you have to be dialed in 100%, and sometimes you just don't want to, right? Like sometimes you want to have anime playing in the background or be watching a GTA role-playing stream, and if you want to do well, you just can't do those things.
Yeah, and you're really barred from ever experimenting on the ladder that high.
Sure.
Right.
But in the games we were playing last night, the very first game we played, we have 3 of us that are all high up on the ladder, and not a single one of us had a comp at the end of that game.
Yeah, that shit was crazy. Whoever ended up winning it, I don't remember if it was me or something like that, or somebody else. I was just like, it was you.
It was Sam.
It was Sam, yeah, and I was like, this is not even a comp.
Won.
This is like Sam had the realest comp with like Pumpkin King shenanigans.
Yeah, and I'm playing Sad Drac over here with 3 different comps.
Right. I don't even remember what comp it was. I do believe it was probably on the evil side. I don't remember.
I was
fun. Very surprised. Yeah, it was very fun. I was very surprised because I've only been dedicated playing this game during those group sessions. That was my 4th time, 3rd time.
Yeah.
So I should have quit right after because that was the best I was gonna do. But I don't know. I felt some sort of satisfaction, right? I won against everybody who's ranked high. I have not even tried playing competitive, frankly. But I do like the group setting because I think it's more fun to learn while you're fucking around with friends.
Agreed. And I think the way you're playing is you're learning comps now.
Yeah.
When you jump into ladder, especially where you're at, you're gonna fly up that ladder.
Yeah. And honestly, the more Ryan plays with us too, Ryan's okay. It's just he's going to just tangentially be like, oh, this is what I should be doing. He's just gonna grow as a player with no cost to his ranking.
Yeah, Ryan's at the same place I was when I first started watching streams of people playing. I kind of knew what mid-game comps were, but I really couldn't understand how to piece it together for end game.
Yep.
I think that's where I'm currently struggling.
Yeah, and then I started watching the streams and I pieced that together, and I mean, I was setting at 1100 and could not move off of 1100. And then I just pieced that together overnight, and I was 3,000 within 3 days, I think.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So once that light bulb, I think, goes off in your head, and you can start clicking these things together, oh, this is what I need to do.
Yeah.
It's just then you can start rounding off, and on the ladder, up till you get to about 2,400. I mean, you can just chain wins together, because I've played on my alt, and I think I showed you my alt like thing where I won like 10 out of 14 games I played.
Yep.
So, I mean, once you get that stuff down, it's low ladders. Pretty
It's
simple.
I literally got what was it? My alt that I created 2 weeks in 2 weeks right to legend.
Yeah.
It was silly.
And your alt accounts are supposed to be like kind of to take off the pressure of needing to rank so high
Well,
competitively, and it's more of
Well,
like play for fun. Or
I think we
Oh.
have two different reasons why.
Yeah. His reason is the reason he created his was he was ranked high enough to qualify for the tournament, but he didn't want to just stop playing. So there's the risk when you're ranked high enough to qualify that if you play and lose, then you drop out of ranking.
right.
He created his alt so he could keep playing without risking that, which is what a lot of high-ranked players do. I think that first tournament that came out that only the top 16 made, there were a couple people in the top 16 that had 2 accounts in the top 16.
Yep.
For the sole purpose of keeping one there. My purpose is not the same. I don't care about my ladder ranking. I play my alt simply because of the competitiveness of where I'm at on the ladder.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just don't want to play on that.
Yeah,
But I
super
still want to
serious.
play, so I play on my alt account, which is lower ranked.
That makes sense.
So you can do
But
shenanigans and play
Yeah.
Trophy Hunter and
Yeah, but I'm not like high rolling trying to floor this lobby on these. I'm doing stuff that I don't normally do. Like on my main account, you will never catch me play skip.
yeah.
I don't care what other heroes offered, I will pick it over skip every single time on my main account. But on my alt account, so skip comes up, sure, this is a great time to try to learn how to play skip.
Yep. Yep. So two different reasons. So
It's kind of the same thing as Sam will understand this, I think, more. Is like I had that alt on Overwatch when we were playing
Yeah,
it.
that's immediately what I thought of.
Yeah, and so I exclusively would play stuff like Genji and Widow on my alt
the good old days.
because it was stuff I would never play on my main.
Right.
But
Yeah.
on my alt, I didn't care what my ranking was, and it was like, this is a good chance to play these characters.
Well, yeah, with no
Yeah.
true consequence, right?
Yeah.
Or, yeah.
And I
And it's
still
always-
placed diamond or platinum somehow. It's like,
Right.
what?
It's always fun to like
Yeah.
I guess
You
play
didn't
with
know
like
that.
lower level people.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
it's
but
it's nice to know when everyone's not as sweaty.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it comes down to like different people play different things for different reasons, right? And different enjoyment. For me, like I don't know, I like try hard and sweating. Like that's who I am. So it just means that when I get overwhelmed and I don't want to play anymore, then I'll just play a different game. You know, like if I can't 100% give my focus to Storybook Brawl, then I'll play Yakuza or Fall Guys or something like that.
Yeah, you plat games.
I do.
When you start a game, you like to plat it.
Yes.
Yeah. But based on also picking up on the try hard thing, I haven't played my alt account really any since the ladder reset 2 weeks ago. But
And you've been doing really well.
Yeah, right before ladder reset, I played it a lot because that last week before ladder
Oh my
reset,
god, it was crazy.
the main accounts get super sweaty. It's like,
Yes.
I mean, super try hard. I was getting rolled, and I was like, this is not where I want to be playing right now.
Yeah.
I think I
Do you
lost like 300 rating in like 45 minutes.
Jeez.
It's an
How do you-
unfriendly place. Go ahead.
I was about to say, how do you know? And this may be dumb. How do you know when someone's being sweaty in Storybook Brawl? Because in Overwatch is kind of easy because there's a chat. Same with Valorant. There's a chat. Whether you're playing PC.
It's just their
or-
comp.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
people that are putting together really strong comps early. People that are hitting 6 by the time you're still on 3. that type of stuff. And I mean,
That's stuff that you'd want to be doing even if you're not
Yeah.
really tryharding, but
yeah,
when
but it just got
everybody
to the
is
point
doing
that
it and
when
no one
everyone's
wants
doing it, yeah,
yeah.
when there's 7 people in the lobby doing it, other than you, it just, I don't know. For me, it wasn't fun that day specifically.
Yep.
So, but I mean, I understand why people are doing it too. So I know there's no fault to them. It's just not where I wanted
Right.
to be at.
Right.
Yeah, and like I said, everyone does stuff for different reasons. So, did anybody do anything else besides Storybook Brawl? I'm almost done with Yakuza. Not platting it, just finishing the story. But
In terms of video games?
yeah, or anything else to watch. We also on the show will discuss stuff that we're watched. Like we started watching What We Do in the Shadows. We're probably gonna watch the new season tomorrow.
The second episode.
Second episode of the new season.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, but yeah, anybody else do anything that maybe didn't just come up in conversation?
I mean, I did some Pathfinder things every now and then.
Yeah.
I haven't put a ton of time into it this week, though.
Brittany's playing it right now.
Yeah, I saw that.
She's addicted.
Yeah, it's good. I'm enjoying it, and I actually like it in the sense that it's something I can pick up and play for 30 minutes and then
Put down.
put down and just move on. It's like,
Yep.
Now, I know it's not the same, but how would you liken it to Baldur's Gate 3? If at all.
It's very similar, except instead of 5e, it's 3.5 rules, so it's more complicated.
Everything is exactly the same as Baldur's Gate 3 in the sense of how, well, I say exactly the same. So,
very similar.
Have you ever played,
Are you going to say Divinity?
No, not Divinity. It's older games. I can't think of the name of it right now. Marco, you may be able to know what game I'm talking about. It's an older D&D game. Older D&D game.
Neverwinter Nights.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah, she's never played that.
Okay.
No, but I've heard of it.
So, Neverwinter Nights, the combat style in it is actions are queued up, and it's actually real-time combat. So, every 6 seconds or so, your character will just automatically attack as if you were really playing D&D in real time.
Right, because 6 seconds is a round.
Yeah. And if you had a character like a monk that could attack like 6 times in 6 seconds, then it would attack once every second or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, Pathfinder Kingmaker, which is the first game in the series, when it came out, that was the combat style it used. Now, what happened is the community modded the game and put turn-based combat into it to make it like playing Pathfinder or D&D at a table. The developers picked up on it and actually took that mod and integrated it into the game for Pathfinder, so it actually became an official patch. And this game came out and it had it already pre-made in, so you can actually toggle between turn-based or real-time.
Yeah, and Brittany prefers turn-based.
Yeah, I do turn-based as well.
Yep. Yeah.
Turn-based is especially good if you're a caster, or if you like to control the entire party.
Yep.
Because you can have up to 5 companions, I believe, with you at one time, so a party of 6.
Yep.
So it's much harder to control all 6 of them in real time.
Yeah. Yeah. Brittany's exact words is she prefers Baldur's Gate 3, but this is great at scratching the itch, and it's still a great game.
While waiting for like further updates, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For Baldur's Gate 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I haven't, other than that initial day of us playing as a group, I have not touched Baldur's Gate since then.
Same.
Oh.
Because I just don't want to play a game that I have to wait for.
Yep.
Right.
I'm not about getting to the end of part 1 and then having to wait a year to get to part 2. Like, nah, I'm good. I'll wait until it's fully released.
What I do when I have ideas for characters, specifically in D&D, I will create them in Baldur's Gate 3 Character Creator. And I won't actually play them out, but I've gone back to the character creator, and it's not the best, but it gives me a good baseline for what I want, for like a tiefling character kind of a thing. Actually, I don't know if I told you this, but I loosely created my character in Baldur's Gate 3, and then when you finish that, it cuts away to like what's your ideal romantic interest kind of a thing. Actually made Emmy
I knew
to
you were
the
gonna
thought
go
of
there.
like, oh, this is what I think Emmy would look like, and it's so funny because you gave Emmy a high ponytail with like black hair, right?
Yep.
That's exactly what I put in the character creator before I even saw like the token that you created. And
Oh
I'm like,
man.
I am on the money. So I just thought that was funny to say, but I haven't really played Baldur's Gate. I played it like 3 times, not fully, but enough.
Yeah.
Since
Makes sense.
then.
I'm
and
sure
then,
when
but
it's fully
I keep going
released,
back to
we'll
the
go.
character creator a lot, and I
Yeah.
can't wait when they add more options.
Yeah, I do think a big difference is Baldur's Gate takes the 5e rules, and they do take some liberty with changes on the rule set a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And Baldur's Gate, I believe, is only planned to go to level 12 or something.
Thought it was like 10.
Maybe 10.
Yeah.
I know it's nowhere near 20.
Right.
But Pathfinder uses exclusively Pathfinder rules. So when you're building your character, you're building it the same way you do at a table.
Yep.
Feats and everything are exactly the same.
Yep. It is
and,
very Neverwinter Nights-ish.
Yeah, and it does go all the way up to 20.
Nice.
It may go higher than 20. It may go to 30.
Oh.
And it has prestige classes and stuff as well.
Oh, nice.
Ooh.
Yeah. So, so if you want to hit a prestige class, you have to hit certain milestones to be able to unlock it.
Yep.
So, yeah. Sam wasn't a part of this when we were talking about it the first time, but I told Marco that this is the game that I wish Wizards of the Coast would make for D&D.
Yeah.
How they do this, because these Pathfinder games, Kingmaker and Wrath of the Righteous, are actual tabletop modules.
Yeah.
These are modules you can go out and buy the book for and run at your table, but they've converted them into video games. So I would love to see Wizards do that with
Castle of
some of their-
Ravenloft, Curse of Strahd, like it's water, all of Raleigh, Waterdeep, the Drift side, like there's just mountains and mountains.
Yep. So I would love to see that, but I do think Wizard also would prefer you to play it on a table, so we may never see that from them.
Yeah, well, it's a kind of a long-standing follower of Wizards in terms of like their Magic stuff. I'm gonna get probably a little fanboyish in a bad way. They never do anything that the players want. They never do anything that actually will like make them money.
But they're doing fine without it, right? Is it kind of like a Nintendo situation where Nintendo doesn't need to take anyone's opinions most of the time?
Yeah, Hasbro makes a shit ton of money, but instead of giving it to like the competitive player base, they'll just buy another yacht. Like it's stuff like that that I hate about the company. It's not anything. But let's not turn that on the stream.
For the
fans, I don't want to complain about Wizards. I do love the fact that they do put so much time into D&D.
Yeah.
Because new stuff comes out almost monthly for 5e right now. So, I mean, they're putting a lot of love into it, but this is just something that a wish list item.
Yep. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I just like the visual component of seeing my character come to life. And I could technically draw them, but I'm decent at drawing. It just takes a lot out of me, and it makes me actually very tired to the point where if I draw even a little bit, I want to physically take a nap.
Well,
it's
then
just that
use your new
me.
employment money and hire an artist. Jesus.
I'm not even done with my 2 weeks at my current company. Nevertheless, started at my new one. How am I supposed to cash in on that sweet, sweet money
All right.
We're
Well,
not there.
we're not there yet. All right. Well, let's move into games that are coming out this week. There is an exciting one that I'm interested in. Probably not purchasing yet. I don't know. We will wait and see. So new releases coming out this week. We have Cruise and Blast coming out for the Switch. Deathloop coming out for PlayStation 5 and the PC. Flynn, Son of Crimson for PlayStation 4, Xbox, Switch, PC. So everything Eastward, Switch, and PC. Skatebird. This is the one I want to talk about. No, just
You got me for a second there. I was like,
You do like skateboarding.
I do.
It makes sense.
Origami 2, everything. Ni no Kuni 2, Revenant Kingdom on the Switch, and Toem for PlayStation, Switch, and PC. Now, I do have to give shout-outs to Ni no Kuni. I know it's got A fans for it, and it's probably pretty interesting. I just haven't been to the series, so people are excited about that. I'm happy for you. And Skatebird is awesome. At least looking.
I mean,
I know nothing
art.
about it, but you can definitely tell it's pretty indie based off this art.
I love
the
it,
art's
though.
Great.
It really
Yeah.
is. I love it.
It's simple. It's distinct. It mean what it says, and it
And
says
it's
what it
wearing
means.
headphones.
It is. I didn't even
Oh,
notice that
yeah.
until I clicked on it and I was like, oh man.
Gammon.
Yeah, it was a Summer Game Fest demo event, so they were there. All right, that's pretty cool. So everyone watch out for Skatebird. But Deathloop. So
Yes.
Deathloop is been on the hype train now for probably way too long, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
They've been talking about it and for at least 2 years now, right?
Yeah, it's been a while.
So you could say they rode the hype train. They started too early, I believe, is the marketing thing. But whatever, I don't care. It's here now, and I'm not in marketing. So it looks sick. It's got a 9 for Game Informer, but that doesn't mean shit. I don't really care. I probably
It got like a.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. It got 88 by Metascore.
No, it's good.
Metacritic.
Metacritic. Again, I really realized though, at least for me personally, critics don't like what I like. And it could be that they're paid off or whatever. But the point is what I tend to do when there's a game that I'm interested in is I just watch streams of it. So tomorrow I'll probably still be slammed by work, but at least I'll have new stuff to look at. I hope Lupo plays it, but maybe not. He's on YouTube now, so I won't be on Twitch. But
Join us on YouTube.
So that's the only thing, and I'm not really good at following hype trains. I'm just like, oh, that looks interesting, and then I kind of like forget about it. So I'm like the perfect marketing person because then it comes back up, and I'm like, oh, I remember that.
Yeah,
So
like you said, I had heard about this a while back. Largely when the purchase of Bethesda went through from Microsoft. Because there was a whole thing of, is this going to stay a PlayStation exclusive thing? So that was really when I think, the most news of it hit, and then it just kind of forgot about it.
Yep.
And then I wake up this morning and I look, like I do every morning on like Twitter, and it's just like Deathloop stuff everywhere.
Yep.
And
This is
it's
the time
like,
to push it. Oh yeah, that's game.
But yeah, I've seen nothing but good reviews for it. I don't know much about it myself other than just the basic premise. So yeah, it's not something that I'll be picking up tomorrow either. But possibly something in the future.
Yep.
Who knows? Being a PlayStation exclusive, it may make it to PS Now.
And then you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know, Sam, you're pretty excited because some of the developer has made some of the other games that you enjoy a lot.
Yeah.
Arcane Studios.
They did Dishonored, which
Yep.
is great. I love that.
Me too.
But something that really interested me was the fact that they've played some part in creating BioShock 2. Apparently they created like the first 6 levels of BioShock 2, and they did some art design on the characters and whatnot. So I thought that was pretty interesting. It was under the guidance of 2K, so like 2K was still involved. But Arcane Studios did play a part in the creative direction for level design and some characters for Bioshock 2, and Bioshock 2 has a very near and dear place in my heart. So I thought that was very interesting, something that I wasn't expecting. So if I didn't need another reason to be interested in the premise of Deathloop, the fact that it's created by Arcane Studios is decent enough for me.
Yeah.
There you go. A 3 out of 10 on the platinum rating.
Yeah, it's how I like to do these for games where I'll pick up it if I pick them up, right? I want to be like, oh, what? And honestly, this turns me off. I don't know. Like, what was Hades?
Look up Fall Guys.
Oh my god,
Fall
Guys
Guys.
is...
Probably 10 out of 10.
Yeah. I say that's about in line. I didn't use God mode. So 7 out of 10 makes sense to me. So, yeah, I mean, and I'm not saying it has to be a tough game, right? Sometimes the story is what carries games like that, right? Or the strategy to it. But, yeah, I like when I look something up and I see something like 8 out of 10, you know, like, or 9 out of 10. And you're like, oh, yeah, I'm going to be one of this 1%. Yeah.
10 out of 10.
Yeah. And having read that, yeah. Because I already know what's going to... There it is. Win 5 episodes in a row.
That's the only trophy I have left.
Yeah, same, actually. Or one of the... I have the Big T's one, too, but I'm not worried about that one.
What's the Big T's one?
Moat right before winning a race.
I have to do that. I thought I did it, and I guess it didn't take it, even though it was...
for a couple months it was broke or something. But the latest patch seems to have fixed it, because I got the trophy last week or the week before.
Yep.
I should try again.
I like how they say, you know, couple this with just a bit of luck, fingers crossed you unscrewed by a bad team game.
Yeah.
God, I can't even imagine. Imagine being on 4 wins and then getting like a team-based game and your team just
Jinx.
oh my god. I'm not really an angry video gamer, but that wouldn't make me break my controller. Oh man. Well, it looks interesting. So just to end cap with the review of this one on Game Informer, it says Deathloop is a bloody, chaotic mess, a mess you'll fail at over and over until finally you succeed, and that success, the result of hours of experimentation, iteration, knowledge, makes for one of the best games of the year. So, that's a bold statement. We don't trust anybody because we're cynical, but I do look forward to watching some streams tomorrow. Yeah, nothing missable.
What is it, 4 out of 10 too much water?
Yeah. 4 out of 10 too much water. That's great. Let's move to the really exciting thing. Like, our Discord doesn't really blow up or talk too much besides just, hey, look at this Storybook Brawl thing, but we definitely had a spot for this one. So Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake.
Yeah, this caught me by surprise, but not at the same time. I mean, the rumors have been swirling for a while that this was coming.
Yep.
But I did not expect to see it at the PlayStation Showcase last week.
Yeah, so were you actually watching the
I was not, because I was not expecting anything like this. I just thought the showcase would be, oh, we're going to talk about the new God of War game, or the new, whatever that other game is that they have that I haven't played yet. Horizon Zero Dawn game, whatever. So I just figured it was all going to be that stuff. And then I'm on Twitter, and PlayStation is trending #1, and I click on it, and there's this teaser from LucasArts, and so I click on it, and I was just like, all right.
Yeah, and then you shared it with all of us. And for people watching along, here is the little short teaser, and that's all it needs.
Yep.
Peace is a lie.
I'm sad I can't hear it.
Yep. Gotta yell at Discord for that one.
Peace is a lie.
Now.
I knew that line's in there.
That's the very first line.
Yeah.
Are there captions?
Not here.
That's
They
so.
must
Yeah,
be stopped.
this exact part right here was what got me.
They must be stopped.
Anybody that knows me knows that Revan is my favorite character in Star Wars history ever. I have played all the games that he's involved in. I've read all the books that he's in. I think I've even told you in the past in the Old Republic, the MMO, there was a strike where you had to go and actually fight Revan, and it was a team-based strike, and I actually refused to attack.
You're like, nope.
I just sat and watched my team fight him because I was like, "No, I don't want any part in this."
Nope. Have fun. Can I join him? Where's the option to join Revan?
Yeah, exactly.
Give me the word. I'll start killing my own teammates. Slash PvP turned on.
So yeah, this is big news for me. Really huge news is that it's a PS5 console exclusive.
And honestly, I do feel that PlayStation needs kind of like that win. Because they've been behind for a little bit.
Yeah, and this is a big one.
I agree.
To not only get this game, but to steal it from Xbox. Because if you remember, this was an Xbox exclusive when it came out.
Yep, how the turntables.
So, yeah.
The turntable.
I am definitely excited about this.
Yep.
There's also some news swirling about a sequel to Jedi Fallen Order, which is another good one.
Yeah, I wouldn't be upset about that one. And of course, there's no actual release date. It's gonna be a few years, but the point is now that we know it's happening, we have something to look forward to. Which
more
honestly,
teaser trailers.
I know, right? I will say though, I feel like that's still a win. I can't remember the last time I saw like a trailer and been like, oh man, I'm actually excited. So, and don't disown me. I never played fully through the Knights of the Old Republic. I only got to the second planet. Yeah. And it's only because I tried to play it later through an emulator, and I just couldn't get into it. I know it's a good game. I just
I will be honest with you. I struggled through it my first time too, largely because the first time I played it was on a Mac, so it was emulated onto a Mac.
Oh my god, I can imagine.
But I think I've told you before. I've never owned an Xbox, so I never had this option of playing it on what it was meant to be played on.
Yep. Yeah.
So yeah, this is huge for me to be able to finally play this on console.
That, and you know damn well that gameplay is gonna be cleaned up.
Oh yeah, I'm really hoping they do, because
live action.
Yeah.
Yep.
I do hope they do streamline the gameplay a little bit, because the queuing up actions and waiting for them to happen was a little terrible.
Yes, it really was. I wanted to like it, and I just couldn't. I already knew the story, and it was still great, but yes, I'm right there with you.
Yeah. We were talking about Neverwinter Nights earlier. It's the same combat. They just stole it and put it into this.
And I like Neverwinter Nights, but I played it when it was new, and I've tried to play it again, and just like this game, I just can't do it. It's like this is just not.
Yeah, it's old combat style that worked when it came out, but I don't think it works now.
Yeah, 100%.
So, yeah, I do hope they clean that up. The remaster is going to be great. Especially if... I know what we're seeing says not actual gameplay, but if this is kind of what we're looking into is this type of stuff, that's going to look so good.
It really is. That, and it's PlayStation 5, so I expect good things. Hopefully we'll have more. I'm sure as we get updates, we will be talking about it.
Indeed.
Alright, so let's move to, the funny part is Storybook Brawl is probably the biggest game I'm playing, and I know this patch came out, but I'm going into this blind, so I actually have no idea. The only thing I know is the thumbnail picture was that Arthur's back to the 4-5. But we will going line by line, and just, you'll have my, I guess, live reactions to the patch, so let's do it. All right, welcome to patch 61.1.1. This patch
For
has
Storybook Brawl.
yeah. This patch has a few balance changes in addition to bug fixes, mostly centered around some issues with transformation of characters. Balance changes. As a note, these changes will not show up in the collection screen until the next client update. Okay. Prince Arthur, its old cost was a 3.3. Now it's new, back to 4, cost 5.5. Oh, it did get a slight bump. I thought it was back to its old 4.5. But no, it's now 5.5.
Yeah, so still a little buff, but yeah. Reverting it back does take it out of Pan's hand
Yep.
immediately.
So it says right here, Princess strategies are showing up too much in games and presenting numbers too big for such a linear strategy. Long term, we'd like to find other ways to increase the viability of these builds, but for now we're reverting Arthur. And yeah, I feel like you've already hit the nail on the head. This is something viable that Pan could do, though. That was not just could stall you for hat ball and give you a
Yeah.
an
Yeah, I
alternate
don't
win con.
necessarily like that it's taken it out of Pan's hands. I
Yeah.
think this did help Pan.
I agree.
But, I mean, I know you've seen this as well. You're playing in games, or we're playing in games, and 3 to 4 people were running Royals mid-game.
True. I'm also worried, and obviously I will play test on my main, that Mary's now not as strong. I do feel like...
So we'll pick back up on that as you get down.
Okay, alright.
Mary gets a little bit of a change.
Alright. Then we'll say we're sad for Pan, and we will move on, and we'll see how good Royals are moving forward. I do think, though, that this is surprisingly maybe makes Royals okay. I think a lot of the issue was people that may not have enough skill were like, oh, I could just force Royals.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But alright, go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying, I don't think it's terrible here. I mean,
yeah,
Arthur Royals is still viable. You're
mean,
just a few turns later, you're getting Arthur. So
yeah, that and Royals was playable-ish before this change anyway. Like, it wasn't. You didn't do it nearly as often.
Yeah.
But I mean, I was winning games in Legend with Royals before but when it was a 4-5. So. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, roundtable. I can already see why you're bad.
Yep.
So it was a 6-cost treasure. Now it is one of the hidden 7-cost treasures. Looks like it does the same exact thing. All right, let's see their reasoning. Roundtable is one of the best treasures in the game. It has 2 consistently led to monster treant builds when you find it. Level 7 fits its power better. I think that is horrible. I think this is the first change I've ever seen where I'm actually like, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I agree. When I first saw this, this is the first change I've seen that has actually upset me.
Yeah, you were literally asking for Good Boy Comp to come back in full swing.
Yeah, because
it's the easier one to set up now.
Yeah.
Magic Sword. That's it.
I actually thought the same thing. It's like, you only need 1 treasure, and Good Boy is now unbeatable again.
Yep.
And I think they oversimplify it with their explanation here. This 1 treasure doesn't lead to monster treant builds just by getting it.
Nope.
You still have to hit the pieces.
Yep. I've lost a treant around having roundtable and couldn't find an Ashwood Elm.
Yeah, well, even with the Ashwood Elm, last night we played a game, and I had roundtable with Ashwood Elm, and you didn't even realize I had roundtable.
Sure.
Because I didn't hit the Green Knight.
Yep.
I mean, it's not just 1 card, as in Big Boy Magic Sword. You need to hit your Ashwood Elms. You need to hit the Green Knights to buff those Ashwood Elms. You need to hit the Echo Wood to get that extra attack, or like huge tree.
I agree.
There is a lot of pieces here for roundtable trees, and this, I think, completely kills an entire comp.
Yep.
This doesn't just make a comp harder to get. This kills a comp.
So
trees is not playable right now.
Yep.
Without this, it is not playable.
I agree, 100%. And I will. Part of my strategy too, and this could be a fault in my strategy, of course, but when I get to endgame, is most of the time I don't care what got me to Tavern 6, right? Or Shop 6, whatever we call it in Storybook Brawl, right? It doesn't matter. I'm ready to disband it at the very first thing I see. And there's certain things that will point me in that direction. I go, hey, I have mostly evil board, sure, and I see a Pumpkin King. Alright, I can buy every 6s. Hey, I got Magic Sword. Oh, look, there's a Good Boy. Or Doom Breath Dragon. I know what to do here. And Round Table was just also one of those things that would just steer. Oh, I got a 6. I got Round Table. Alright, sweet. I can do trees now. You just, the only thing you did was just took that away. So now, your end games right now, I'm calling it, what you're going to see when majority of Legend lobbies is Sword, Good Boy, Scam, Pumpkin. And that's it.
Yep.
These are going to be your 2 endgame comps.
Because I would even buy Ashwood Elms without Round Table previously.
Because you knew that if you got 6s, you got a chance for it.
Yeah, if you tripled it, you could hit it, and then that card becomes playable.
Yep.
Now, if I don't have Runestones or Treasure Map, I'm not buying an Ashwood Elm.
Nope. Unless I got a Pumpkin King, and it's really, and a 2020 is good on my board.
So, yeah, this one does upset me quite a bit, I think.
Yep.
Probably more than anything I've seen.
Go ahead, Sam.
You mentioned it was, a hidden treasure? Now, is it because... How do you hit a 7?
All right.
Yeah, so I just mentioned that. So, the way to hit 7s is there are 2 treasures in the game. One is called Runestone, it's a level 2 treasure.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one is Treasure Map, which is a level 3 treasure. Runestone will make your next treasure 1 level higher. So if you had Runestone and then you hit a level 6 treasure, you would get a level 7 instead.
Okay, so that's the one I was thinking of.
And
yeah, Treasure Map does the same thing, except it's 2 levels higher.
And it's a 3.
Yeah, so if you hit a 5
or a 6,
then you can hit a 7. There are no 8s currently, so if you hit a 6, it's still going to be a 7.
Yep.
The other option is to play Horde Dragon.
Yes. Yeah.
Which I was going to bring up now that I will probably play Horde Dragon more now.
Yeah, that's true. Because this way, when you you can build trees and just collect Ashwood Elms.
Yeah, because if you can get Horde Dragon to end game and get treants, you're gonna be unbeatable because no one's gonna buy trees. You're gonna have the full pool of trees available.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Well, people will still buy Robinwood, I think, because it's still it's good Echo. It's good in
Echo. You're still gonna get, but I mean, how many times have you been setting on 2 Ashwood Elms and can't find the 3rd, and then you play somebody and they've got 2 themselves without Round Table?
True.
Trying to hit it.
Yeah.
That is probably going to disappear. So,
I think
Horde Dragon becomes your treant.
You brought up a good point that I never even thought of. I may have to start picking Horde Dragon when he shows up in my hero pool, because he's not one I don't like treasure-based heroes. I like tempo-based heroes. I like heroes that give me the option to pull the trigger or get stronger just by playing the game. So I like Gwen a lot. I like Merlin, Pan, like people that like Pan. Different though, right? Pan's playing the game entirely unique from every other hero, but even Pup and stuff like that. But you know what? I think you may be right. He might be really strong now. We'll have to test that. But yeah. So that's how you get level 7 treasures. So now it's not nearly as accessible though, because it requires a lot of moving pieces. And what am I going to do at 6? Just start buying chickens so I can get runestones to then get my round table tree?
I don't know. Because by the time you get 6, if you had runestone, you've probably blown through it by that point.
Yeah.
I don't know
how many times you literally would have to collect it on 6.
Yeah. I don't know how many times I've hit treasure map and then tripled something and forgot I had treasure map and ended up with a 4 cost treasure.
You know the other thing I actually think about this? So one of the things I've learned to do is if I do get a 7, I'll be like, oh sweet, I can get Mirror or Holy Grail, or in some cases Excalibur, right? And then now I might miss on what I need, because sometimes you need Holy Grail, right? Like sometimes you can't just Fairy Wand doesn't do anything. Excal makes it so you're no longer getting any treasures and you need to get stronger this turn, right? or the next turn, right? And Holy Grail is actually surprisingly really good at being like, okay, next turn I have to move fast, but I can get an end game comp, right? If I survive this and I can get to my Grail.
Yeah, I tried that in one of our group games. What, yesterday or the day before, and you killed me right before I got to use it.
Oh, I didn't know you. The point is, it's a gamble where your chances were like from 5% to like, you know, hey, if I win this, I'll probably be like a good 55% to win the lobby, right?
Yep.
But yeah. All right, let's move on before I get even angrier. So
Yeah, this is their response to moving round table to 7 to try to balance
I
it.
don't play.
It's laughable at best.
So they took Heartroot Elder, which was a Treant support, so it played in the back line. That at the start of each brawl would be +2/+2. It costs 4 and was a 2/9. Does the same thing except now is good and is a 5/7.
Yep.
The round table
And they
choose harder to find.
they-
We want to give some love back to Treants. We're giving a slight buff now.
This,
It's mid-game. It's a mid-game tree, and Treants doesn't come online to end-game. This does not help Treants at all.
No. Because if you had a tree at this stage in the game, you had a happy little tree that you were buffing or doing something else, or you had a Darkwood Creeper. And +2/+2 is not enough to scale.
Yeah. I'm gonna be
Arthur does his
completely
whole
honest.
entire upgraded to everybody else on the team.
Yeah, I'm gonna be completely honest. If this is +5/+5, I still don't think it's enough.
Yeah. Yep. I'll try it out because I feel like that's kind of, you know, I have to do my due diligence, right, to stay competitive. So I'm sure it'll show up in a game and I'll pick it up and I will report back and tell you, yep, doesn't do shit. Yeah, that sucks. That's actually very sad. The tree is my favorite comp set.
Let's drop Ashwood down to a 5 as response.
That would be nice. You couldn't make it a 20 or a 0/20 though.
0/15.
I'm trying to think of 5 drop 15/15. What other 5 drops?
Well, Neon's 10/10, and you only need 2 of those, so a 0/15 isn't. Well, I guess 15/15, but still.
Yeah. Yeah.
Still not far off of that.
No, it's not horribly. It would still be like the strongest thing to do at 5, regardless of the comp. But it's not my job, and this is always how I felt about like Magic and stuff like this. Is I play whatever the devs tell me to play, and if it's, you know, and I play in the confines of the sandbox. I may not like it, but I don't do like, oh, they should have done this, they should have done that.
Yeah. Well, I try not to, but this one
No,
does
this
bother
one
me more than.
I don't blame you because it's really bad. All right. So Gingerbread Party, its old cost was 4. Its new cost is now 3. It's a spell, and what it does is for the rest of the game, it gives all the characters in your shop +1/+1. So it does the same thing. It just got a cost reduction. They say, imagine throwing a party and having no one show up. Gingerbread Witch asked us to reduce the cost by 1 on her spell, and we listened to the players and our characters. Aw, that's cute. I'm still not playing it.
I was getting ready to say that. I'm still not playing it because 3 is still too expensive.
Yep.
okay,
You would
thank
have to make
because
this
every time
too.
I saw, I still don't know like full comps and whatnot and strats
The only time
Storybook Brawl, but every time I saw Gingerbread Party, I'm like, why am I going to spend that much for
No.
that?
and that's the
That's-
correct attitude.
Yeah, that's a decent card to hit out of
Yep, scroll.
Scroll.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
other than that, it's not worth 4. Oh, it's not worth 3, and it's definitely not worth 4.
I'd put at 2, and even then it would only be situationally that you'd want to buy it.
Yeah, like I need to cast a spell this turn. I have 2 gold left, and I don't want to roll and gamble.
Yep. I can't
Yeah.
think of if it'd be interesting. I think another thing they can do is have a hero or some other character that cares about shop, like not gives but cares about shop, right? Like
Yeah.
if they had a thing that said, hey, for every +1/+1 in your party, I'll do this. You know, maybe if, hey, you get it to +3/+3, you get a treasure, right? I'm not good at creating this shit, but the point is like, that's the only way I ever would feel like it's worth putting money to spells that are in your shop.
Yeah, and you could create it would be really weird. Kind of. I mean, it would be non-intuitive for players, but you could have a kind of 3 or 4 cost minion that was like a 1/1, and then every time you bought a character that had a shot buff,
Got
that
the
character
shot buff.
would get that shot buff from the character you bought.
I like that. I think you could make it. It'd have to probably be higher than 3 because I feel like Pan would be unbeatable.
Yeah, that's probably true. So 4.
Yeah. But yeah, they could do something like that. That'd be pretty cool.
It would get really strong though if you had that level. Is it a level 7 treasure that gives plus 15, plus 15?
Oh my god, yeah, then beginning stone. That's my new
Yeah.
favorite thing to do on Pen. Be like,
Yeah.
alright, I'm just gonna buy this and then buy a whole bunch of triplies.
Yeah, so yeah, that would make that card really strong, but it's a high level treasure.
Honestly though, in beginning stone and Pan is the only time I've ever played in beginning stone. I don't think I've ever been on a comp at 6 and be like, yes, out of these choices, I'm choosing in beginning stone.
Yeah, maybe the only comp you could get a buy with it would be summoning comp.
Yeah, I can
Just
see
start
that.
buying cats and.
But even
stuff
then,
that-
like, I don't know, man. That seems super weak.
Yeah, I still think Baby Bear's better, but.
Yeah, and the Baby Bear doesn't get hit by that. I feel like the only time is you have a full dwarf board and you're like, the only way I can get stronger is if I buy triplies.
Or if you hit it really early. Because I
Yes.
hit a treasure map into a blind mouse yesterday in a game. And I had a level 6 treasure on level 3 or something like that.
Oh, that's absurd.
Yeah, I didn't get any good choices. I had to take Spear, which, I mean, still at level 3, that's pretty good. But
Yeah.
if you could hit that at that point, you could scale real fast.
Sweet. Yeah, and that makes sense. But, I'm not going to go through the bug fixes, but yeah, overall.
Well, bug fixes are where the Miri changes are, because apparently
okay.
they classified those as bugs.
Then apparently I need to start reading these. Alright, bug fixes. Improve the in-game pairings to more closely follow round-robin pairings. Oh, that's good. Different dead players now all count as the same player for the purpose of pairings, meaning you no longer play against dead players back-to-back. Darn!
Yeah.
That's the
You
only
can
way I
blame
win lobbies.
You can blame Yuckmouth for that.
Darn it, Yuck.
Yeah, because he complained about this constantly.
Well, it is a huge advantage, right? Like, there has been definitely times where I've been in 5th, right? And then I faced the ghost, somebody died, and then somehow I faced the ghost again, and then I got to, like, 3rd or 2nd, and be like, I don't belong here.
Yeah.
But...
Well, the only way you would face the ghost back-to-back is if 2 people died. Because if only 1 died, then you go to an even number.
Sure.
So, if you were 5th, and then you face a ghost, and then 2 people die, you're already 3rd.
True. But alright, then I've definitely gotten 2nd, where I've been like, the only reason why I've gotten 2nd is because I faced ghosts twice. And which I like, because my rating doesn't suffer.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand why people don't like this, especially high-end players, but, I mean, the way I look at it is, so, let's say person A knocks out person C, and now, since they actually had to play somebody, now they get to play the ghost, but they just easily beat someone and killed them, and now they get a free pass.
Sure. They might as well have been playing the ghost.
Yeah, so they might. That's the way I looked at it. Is, well, you basically got to play a ghost back to back anyway, because you killed somebody.
Sure. That's a good counterpoint to that logic, right? And these people that are getting, screwed over or whatever, it's like, oh, I got 3rd instead of 2nd, dude. Whatever. You weren't going to win if that was your complaint. Is that somebody got a back-to-back ghosts. Alright, so now we got Miri. King Lion now counts pass upgrades when you switch into him. Oh, that actually makes Miri sort of... The only thing I can think of, though, is if I went into Gwen, knighted Arthur on 4 now, which now is actually probably not even a thing I want to do. And then I got Miri. Like, you don't accidentally have royals and be like, oh yeah, switch heroes, Miri.
Oh,
But
I did that the other day.
you
as
can.
Mask.
I'm just saying it doesn't happen often. And Mask
I
is
didn't already.
different.
Yeah, I didn't already have royals upgraded. I hit Miri at level 3, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Mask's different because I will look at what's in the lobby when I'm Mask, and I'll be like, oh, there's not a novella, or there's not a Miri, or there's not this, and I will play like I could potentially be those characters, or there's not a pup.
Yeah.
But yes,
Yeah.
it's good. It makes it more likely to
Yeah.
actually keep, or
I
as an option.
I saw a bunch of people like petitioning for this, and they have it here in bug fixes, so I'm assuming that was intended and didn't work,
Okay,
or else it should have been a patch.
sure.
So, but I also saw some counter arguments to this that very few, if any, heroes
Retroactively.
have retroactive powers when you change into them. Like Merlin, you don't get buffs for every spell you've cast up to that point.
Yeah, but I would argue it makes a little bit more sense in Mary.
Oh, I agree. Because Mary is late game is unswitchable.
Yeah.
You're just literally locking up a slot in someone's hero change.
Yeah.
With Mary.
And you probably still are 9 times out of 10, but the one time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like. But another thing, but I mean, I could see some people's counterpoints for like that stuff, like Sad Drac, because you don't change into a Slide Drac, you don't instantly get slaves back.
True.
But
yeah, where it looks and sees, yeah.
So,
this character slayed.
So I didn't know if they would actually ever go back or make that change, but since it's here in bug fixes, I'm assuming
it was intended.
That it wasn't working as intention. So
I think though the reason why this works and that the stuff like Merlin and Drac doesn't work and is okay, like my counter argument is if I sell a unit that Drac buffed, it's gone. I don't get to keep those buffs. Same thing with a Merlin. If the Merlin buffed this character that I then sold back to the shop, I don't get to keep those buffs. If I'm done with my Cinderella, though, as Mary, I can sell that unit, and Mary doesn't care. Does that make sense, or?
Yeah, but then you can also ask into it, what if I switch into Snow Angel? Should it counteract every good I've bought, even though I can sell them after buying them?
Yeah, I would say that Snow Angel is a closer argument than those other two because of that.
Yeah.
I would also argue that, sure, do you want 8 zero-cost goods in your shop that can't fit anymore?
Yeah, because that's a lot of gold.
Yeah, but you wouldn't get sick. You know how this would work in this game. You would pick Snow Angel, your shop's full, you get a zero-cost good angel, and there you go. So, but yeah. So, fix a bug where granted abilities, Trophy Hunter Sad Drac, or being lost when a character is temporarily transformed. That sucks. Oh, it's good. It sucked that happened to anybody. When a character is temporarily transformed multiple times in the same run, it will now correctly transform back to its original form. That's good. Character completes its quest and is then temporarily transformed. Oh, I skipped this one. Transforming into an upgraded prince or princess no longer counts as an upgrade for Miri, which is sad. I loved getting lucky like that. When a character completes its quest and is temporarily transformed, it will now correctly upgrade when it transforms back. Oh, that's cool. Fix a bug where a blind mouse could get higher level treasures than intended after being temporarily transformed. Oh man, I wanted that bug.
Yeah, the only way I see that happening is if you have a blind mouse that gets pigomorphed.
Yeah.
And then you upgrade the mouse, and it thinks, oh, this was a level 6 mouse. Here, let me give it a level 10 treasure.
Jesus. That would be awesome, though. And then, I love this. I didn't even know this was a thing. Humpty Dumpty no longer triggers Morte's ability when it dies.
It was a last breath ability, though, was it not?
No, it's not. Humpty Dumpty just says, when I die, it can't be put back together. It does not have
That's
the
a
words
death
last
ability.
breath.
It doesn't say last breath.
I know it doesn't, but it is a death ability.
It is. It said, I die
Technically,
forever.
yeah.
Probably why it was happening is because
Yes.
it was probably using the same function.
Yes, it was
That's
using the
last breath.
same, trigger event, right? Being like, if die, do this.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yep. Fix an issue that's causing Mimic to not double Helm of the Ugly Gosling's ability. Sweet. So now Helm is giving plus 30 to 2 different units. Well, potentially 2 different units. Which is good. Lancelot can no longer complete his quest while in hand. What? He could complete his quest in hand? What was I doing? Why was I playing him?
I can't even. I read this. And I
I've
was
done
like,
this in Miri.
Oh, okay.
You can get...
So you.
But I didn't do this in hand. I had to play him on the board. But think about Mary's ability. If you get 13 triggers, he's already has enough.
All right. So yeah, this probably was not possible before Mary.
Yeah,
And-
I can't. Well, I suppose you could waste like if you had a ball,
That's true.
you could do
You
two
could.
14 treasures on it, and then
And
another
have a
3.
25 on your bench that you
Yeah.
just wasted.
Yeah, and then I forgot to put them in. Oh, I still get the treasure. Jesus. Attack bonuses from your opponent's Eye of Ares no longer show up when you turn in shop. So overall, I feel hurt inside. My trees I feel have taken a serious blow here. I also feel that as a result, also with Prince Arthur changes, I feel like Mary and Gwen are no longer as strong as they used to be. I think Gwen is still probably, if you have her on A tier, if you like her, I think she's still there. But I feel Mary might not be playable like on a competitive level anymore. I know that's kind of big, but I do feel like having that 3-drop princess and getting that snowball starting early, because there's been a whole bunch of times with Mary where I got to 15 life, and then I'm like, okay, now the scaling is catching up. And that only happens because you can get Prince Arthur on 3.
Yeah.
I feel like you're going to die as Mary most of the time before you can actually see the effects.
Yeah. I don't know if I would put it at the full range of unplayable. It's a risky play, I think, because I think if you hit Arthur as soon as you hit 4, I think it's still okay.
I can agree with that. I might be blowing it out of proportion. I'm still going to give it a shot.
Just like Sadrak or Trophy Hunter, that if you don't find that card...
Yep. GG.
Yeah.
And what's weird is, like, you would be like, well, maybe Mary was like that before, and I would be like, no. I've definitely won games with Mary where I had a Prince Arthur that I wasn't even playing because it just wasn't worth the slot.
Yeah.
Because I was tripling other princes and princesses.
But at the same time, I also do think this makes Royals a little less playable as a mid-game comp, or
so there might be more Royals to go in the round. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other big takeaway, too, speaking of things that might actually potentially be better and not worse, is now I really actually want to try Horde Dragon. I want to see if I go into Horde Dragon thinking, okay, I'm going to be level 6 trees. And not force it, right? But, like, keep that option around and see how well that works now.
Yeah.
Might be my tournament strategy.
I had Horde Dragon probably in my high C rank, because I think you've seen I had some pretty decent games on Horde Dragon.
Mm-hmm.
I do think that this change may push him up a tier.
Yeah, depending if your hypothesis is correct, I agree with you 100%. I think trees is still one of the strongest things you can be doing, and if you are the only character that can viably get there, that makes you one of the strongest characters. But it's I think we're going to have a Zalua problem, where Zalua is still also very strong, but you have to survive.
Yep.
So,
but I do think Horde Dragon can be better at that than Zalua at times.
Yeah, because
you can hit those higher trophies earlier.
True.
Or treasures earlier.
Yeah, now your blind mouses, if you're extremely lucky, are 5-drop treasures. Your early 2s or 3-drop treasures. Like, so yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and I mean, you could even blind mouse into a round table if you hit treasure map.
Treasure map. Oh my god.
And then blind mouse into a round table, and then Horde Dragon is just, I think at that point, unbeatable. I do think if you hit that combo.
There's a lot of testing I want to go and do now. But yeah, no, it's exciting. Try the new changes. I do hope they realize though that the with the roundtable changes, I interested to see if I'm correct in my hypothesis where everyone's back to Magic Sword Good Boy and Pumpkin King scam.
But what I'm afraid is that I almost feel that once something goes to 7, there's no coming back from it.
Well, yeah, that's true. But hopefully, that's not the case, right? Like, we will find out. The thing that actually kills me, one more thing before we jump onto the end part, which we're going to talk about D&D and then what we're going to do this week, is that, like, moving this to 7 makes it so weird because Good Boy wanted Magic Sword, and then if you hit 7, you could hit Mirror Mirror with Good Boy and also be, like, unbeatable, right? Like, Good Boy had a 6-drop treasure and a 7-drop treasure that made it really good. Same thing with Pumpkin King, right? Pumpkin King has a 6-drop treasure, and you could do Doom Breath, Magic Sword, or even Mittens and Dark Sack with Mimic, stupid shit like this, and 7 because you could do Mirror Mirror on that and just have all Medusas in your front line and scam and more Pumpkins, right? Or Onis. Yep. But now Trees just having a 7. Like, there's nothing on 6 where Trees is like, woo, like what am I gonna do? Double your support? Great.
Yeah. I mean, because Trees, especially the Ashwood, with Ashwood comp, they get really big attack, but
yeah, they don't have shit for life.
Their healths aren't growing.
And there's no ranged tree outside of Robinwood, which makes it another 6-drop character that's also good in other decks, so people are buying him.
Yep. So.
Meanwhile, my Good Boy comp that I talked about with Magic Sword, I can get anything that has range. You've seen me be like, Sure Shot, sweet. This is an upgrade over my 50/50 Hercules.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe and this is gonna be really out there, and you're probably gonna think I'm crazy, but maybe the only way to make Trees viable is to change Echo from everything into just Trees.
No, I don't think that makes you crazy. I think that makes it kind of belong in the tree comp that it's supposed to be in.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
And I do think that makes Trees more viable, because now you don't have this Good Boy Echo shenanigans where you're getting huge echoes.
Sure. Yeah.
But I guess we'll see.
I was about to say, the only thing left now is to jam a couple of, jam games, right? See what it's like. And then devs are really cool at Good Luck Games. They're actually pretty good at taking feedback. So if I feel like I need to say something in Discord chat about, hey, I really feel like this patch has made things not as fun for me, I do feel they'll listen. The good thing about a lot of these people coming from Magic is that they're used to having people's complaints fall on deaf ears.
Yeah.
So they're good at listening.
Kind of situation.
Yeah, they're really good at listening. So.
This patch is live, right?
Yes.
Yes. I mean, another thing is I wouldn't even hate Roundtable being 7 if there were more options to get a 7 treasure.
Yeah.
I just feel like the way it's limited right now.
Yeah, there's only 3 ways.
Yeah. And 2 of them require you to hold treasures and not triple anything.
Yeah, can you imagine having a treasure map and being like, I could transform this 4 now, but I should wait until 5 because I need Roundtable.
Yeah.
Just see everybody dying with treasure map and runestones unused.
Yeah. and then the other option just is entirely down to luck on whether or not you even get the character to be able to do it.
True. And then you have to get to 6 to actually get Ashwood Elms. Like, okay, good luck.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll play test. We'll see how we feel. We'll reconvene. See if there's another patch next week that maybe even reverse changes. We've seen that before.
Bring back Bugbear.
Rip Bugbear.
Justice for Bugbear.
That's what we need to start. That's what I'm going to name this episode. Put this one, Justice for Bugbear. They're like, what the hell are they talking about? Alright. Let's end with, we did, at least everyone here, our session 0 for our new campaign that I am building for everybody. We've also moved our normal time to Sundays, so 7 o'clock. We'll also be streaming it here on this channel just for record keeping. So if you do like D&D, you're obviously more than welcome to chat. I do want to give anybody a forewarning, though, that this won't be an engagement chat. This will be, especially since I will be DMing, I cannot do both. So as much as I would look forward to reading your comments, I probably won't be actually conversing with you because I have players to entertain. But how do you guys feel about your session 0?
I actually think we talked about it last week's episode. But
Did we do ours before last week's episode?
Yep.
All right, never mind then. Apparently, I
Well,
don't...
great though.
Still good. Well, what then what we can talk about is the other two had their session 0s. We're not going to go into any details onto it. But yep, we have our boy Ace playing a shifter named Silver. He's a cleric, and Donar, the Dragonborn, they have finished theirs as well. They are in a place where literally when we start, they will be right in front of you, right where you're currently at. Now, the DM has...
Me holding a sword to a gnome's throat.
No, remember, the guard took over.
Oh, okay. Holding a sword to the guard's throat.
That probably would be a bad idea. Hey, remember, this guard was pretty helpful. So he was being like, I'm so sorry, here, let's just bring you to, the Adventures Guild, we'll try to get you to where you need to be, and you'll find out more about these two in a second. And then we have an old friend from our last campaign, Morigato, who is going to be a Furbolg, which should be fun. I have to think of a way now to get him in Ace's friend, Hunter, X-Strike, who's going to be an Aasimar Paladin. So now, I felt, and of course I will never say no to more people, like, doing the campaign. This is my limit. I don't think I can do a campaign with more than 6.
Yeah.
So, for anybody else who has friends that are interested, you need to wait till somebody backs out. Because 6 is a lot. I've done 6 ones before, but I know from that experience that this is the most I can handle at once.
Yeah, I think I can agree with that. We are no critical role here. We can't handle 9 people in a party.
Yeah, I really don't know how Matt Mercer does it. There's so much going around, right? And one of the other...
Matt Mercer has really good players that know how to play their characters.
True. And the other thing, too, is just a whole bunch of just the way of storytelling, right? Part of a DM's job is to move the story along, progress, or sit back and let the players do their thing, and he knows when to do that and how to do that well. And all of them being somewhere in the acting sphere, I do think helps a lot. While normal DMs have to kind of be like, okay... and I like James or Shiny or Chris. Yeah, I like his characters a lot, but what he tends to do is trying to like give me a whole bunch of the reasons why his character is doing something, and he'll express in multiple minutes about why. And I cut him off last time because like, dude, it doesn't matter why. You don't have to justify any of your actions to me over the top of the table, right? To say, oh, I think my character would do this. You just do it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the characters themselves that he's RPing are not going to really know his intention, or they are. But it's up to him and his character. If his character is actually making a point and is worried about like RP wise. Oh, like this is what I meant when I did this, that, and that. But if it's outside of like RPing, it really doesn't matter because even if you intend it a certain way, the characters are already gonna have an idea.
Yeah, that's kind of how it works. I'm able to, as a character, interpret how you say however I want to interpret that. It doesn't matter that you didn't mean it like that.
Yeah, the only time that you may ever see me explain why I'm doing something out of character is if I'm getting ready to do something that I know as a player is dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah. And and you're probably gonna be like, why the hell are you doing that? It's like, sometimes I feel like some of that needs justification as to why I'm doing that. But
you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that makes sense. But most of the time, too, you could just do it. And a good example is Exandria Unlimited, when he's like, I put on the crown, or I just told the crown. It's like Matt Mercer fucking knows that was a dumb idea. It doesn't
but he
matter.
also did say that out loud too. He's like, I know
he did.
I know this is and so that's what I mean, is that would be the only time and it would be something quick like that. It's like, I know this is dumb, but I'm gonna put it on. That kind of thing. But yeah, like, I do think Chris does have a problem of like over explaining things, cause even in our last campaign when he would fight, he'd be like, well, I think I'm gonna use the ranged attack because of this. It's like, I don't need to know why you're using a ranged attack.
Just tell me what you're doing. Yeah. And meanwhile, I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna walk up here. I'm gonna attack this twice with my swords. All right. Bonus action. I'm going to cast Hunter's Mark. All right, I'm done. I don't need to tell you why I'm doing it. Like, and I was doing dumb stuff with fucking with Riley all the time. We'd be like, all right, we're fighting a dragon. Sweet. I'm gonna teleport onto its back. If I don't have any ranged abilities. Like, that's the reason. But I never said it. I just did it. And then people would be like, oh, look, he's riding the dragon. That's, whatever. And I'm like, yeah. That's what I'm doing.
My character tried that. She was unsuccessful. The first dragon we fought.
Don't worry, there'll be more. But yeah, so I do have to now, and it sucks, and this will be the end of the D&D conversation, is I was so happy with myself about how I got your two characters and their two characters to meet and collaborate, and both of your reasons why. I was so pleased with myself, and I was like, this is perfect. This couldn't have gone any better. And now you add two more random elements, I'm like, fuck. Because
it's part of the deal. You gotta improv,
Yeah, and of course it's part of the game, but like some of the time you're it's just gonna be like, hey, I just kind of just need you to do this, right? Like, your character has no reason to do it. I just work with me here.
Yeah.
And I hope I don't have to pull that card.
That's kind of how I went too. Like, when I was DMing, when we first started.
Yep.
I had reasons for all of you to be where you were and how you met and all that stuff. And then when new players came in, it's like, all right, you're there.
Yeah. Hey, just walk up. This is what you're gonna do. Like, it's so hard to integrate somebody into a moving story.
Yeah. So like, Sam's character was just happened to be where you guys were. It's like,
yeah.
But I do like her background. I do like
that, and he did a great job of making your character, like, yeah, sure, she happened to be there, but it made sense, right? It wasn't just like, and then you appeared in the woods.
Yeah, and see, that's something I'm really good at, is crafting a story around something, which makes it seem fluid, whereas it's really not. It's just, oh, everyone's here, so I'm just going to stick you here. I can easily create the backstory. So, like, Sam probably doesn't remember this because she wasn't here, but you remember how Morigato's character, the Warforged, got in there.
Yeah.
I literally just stuck him where you guys were going.
Yeah. Perfect. I didn't know any different. You could have told me we were going to meet a Warforged, regardless of he was a player character or not.
Yeah, and then I actually changed a lot of the history of my world to involve Warforged and how he ended up there and all that stuff. But it's not something you even have to do immediately.
Nope.
No.
Something where you can, like, now, Furbolgs and Asmirs might have a purpose in my world that they didn't before.
Yep.
Right.
So.
Another thing that I did like about my character
Mm.
was that even though Kevin wrote the backstory, I kind of chose like the general direction of what, but he wrote the backstory and it was great. I get anytime I'm indecisive and whatnot, but what's funny is that we got there, my character meets the group doesn't give a shit, doesn't ask for any of her reasonings, any of her background, just no explanation. And she's like, well, I'm not going to say anything because they're not asking, so what's the point? And then that same day in the campaign, her reason for staying in the group was formed, and it wasn't even planned. It was through pure, like, character RP, like, kind of situation happened that even you as a DM wasn't 100% sure it was even going to happen. And I don't know if you actually planned for it to happen.
Well, we can, since this campaign's over, whether or not you guys released the 4 horsemen, they would have been released.
Okay. But how soon after that?
Immediately.
Okay.
So had you guys discovered that the key had been the artifact that you were looking for, not opened the box and just left with the key, you would have been ambushed outside as soon as you stepped out, and they would have taken the key and unlocked the box.
Got it.
But now we're
well-
responsible.
Yeah, but the storytelling was so much better with the fact that you guys were responsible.
No, James.
My
James
character
was
felt
responsible.
So much guilt.
Yeah.
My character felt so much guilt, and it was the perfect reason why she should stay with the group.
Yep.
Her meeting them, fine. But her staying with them, it made a lot more sense.
Yeah, I was almost 95% sure you guys would open the box just because you're greedy treasure hoards. But there was that 5% chance that you guys talked it out and decided not to, and so I did have a backup plan.
It made sense.
But what really surprised me about that whole incident was just how fast it happened.
Yeah.
Because I did think there would be a discussion at least.
Well,
but
yeah,
it's
James just did it.
Yep.
And then even my character, as soon before you even said what was going, oh, you did this? The first thing out of Zara's mouth was, "What the fuck did you do? Why did you do
failed
that?"
her history check. Like the one time it was important.
Yep.
Her religion check.
Oh, that was so much fun. I hope I can live up to that session.
Yeah, that was pure chaos in a box, pretty much. Just want that.
Yep. So now I gotta talk to have 2 more session zeros, either probably independently. I don't see a Furbolg and Asmir partying up.
The most unlikely of love stories.
I love it. So we'll do that, and then come Sunday we should have our first session 0. But yeah. Sweet. So let's talk about what we're doing this week. I, of course, am going to be doing Storybook Brawl, Yakuza 4, and DND. Obviously, I have to finish for our session 1 on this Sunday. I also have, to plug myself, I will be creating a more of a schedule and be more present on live streaming here on Twitch. So if you like Storybook Brawl, I suggest that. If you like, obviously, this podcast, this was Mondays, and then on Sundays is D&D. So, Sam, what are you doing this week?
I am probably going to play a little bit more Storybook Brawl.
Good to hear.
To understand strats and comps some more.
Discord
Probably.
Yeah, let's see that next.
And then maybe see who decides to play Deathloop. Because I don't have the money right now.
You also have
So-
PlayStation 5.
Yeah, I don't have the money right now, so it doesn't matter if it's the game or the PS5. I just don't got it. And maybe draw my character a little bit more and then take a nap after because it's very tiring for me.
There we go.
That's about
There
it.
we go. All right, Car, round us out. What you doing this week?
Yeah, so Storybook Brawl like everyone else. Pathfinder. And yeah, I guess just gearing up for D&D.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Well, that was a very long session, a lot to talk about. I hope next week we have just as much because it's always exciting talking about stuff. I hope everyone has a good week of gaming, and I hope to catch you all next week.
Bye.
Yeah.